Welcome to Bleachers and Speakers. I'm your host, June. I got my co-host with me. Introduce yourself to the people.
Boston Child. We still here.
We still drinking the blue Kool-Aid or what, man? What's up with that?
Hey, we true to this, not new to this, man. Like, we beyond Kool-Aid. We in the mix.
We in the mix, man. We watched the game like everybody else. We saw everything that everybody else saw. And I don't know if you want to jump into your rant now, but I got a couple things I want to say that just disgusted me.
You want me to go first, or
You go first because I might not have to. I think we on the same page, so I'll let you go first, and then if I got anything to add to it, or if you didn't, you know, hit where I wanted to go with this, then you go. I mean, then I'll go. You know, go further.
so,
But
so yeah? As far as the Lions go, we were due to get punched in the mouth eventually, and I think the timing on it is right. We got a nice cushion as far as the NFC North is concerned, and it puts some things in perspective for us. I know the fan base. First of all, anybody that's ready to jump off the fan base, this is a perfect time for you to jump off the fan base before things get too real. So if this is your time,
mm,
you can go right ahead and hop off the bandwagon. But as far as our positioning, it doesn't affect our NFC, the outlook for the NFC. It doesn't affect the NFC North standings because the Packers and Bears lost, right?
yeah,
The Packers
no,
and
Bears
Bears
won.
lost.
Bears,
No,
Bears
the
won.
Bears won. The Packers lost, and the Vikings will likely lose tonight. So it puts things in perspective for us. It lets we know that we are not ready to talk Super Bowl as of yet. Yes, we are going to the playoffs this year. Yes, we will. I feel like we likely will win at least a playoff game. But this puts things in perspective as far as the product we put out on the field is not good enough to win it all. I think it is time to really look at Jamison Williams and really see. I think we're beyond the point of making excuses for him. It's either put up or shut up for him, and it's time for Brett Holmes to get aggressive because the injury bug has affected us the way it has affected a lot of other teams. But the product we're putting out there right now is not ready to make any serious moves because this wasn't just a mishap. Oh, we made a couple of mistakes here and there and we lost. No, we got smoked. We got our boots smoked yesterday. That game was never close. In the first quarter, I think we were down what, 4 touchdowns? We
It
were.
was 28-0 and a half for sure.
Yeah, at half. Okay, so yeah. So by halftime, we were down 4 touchdowns. There was a point. Oh, in the first quarter, they had more points, which was only like 21-14. They had more points than we had total yards. Like we just came out the gate just super. Just from out the gate, the punt return, where our gunner ran into the punt returner, and I think they scored unanswered the first 3-4 times. So yeah, we weren't ready and we got popped. That's simple.
Well, my rant isn't about the actual football team. It's about people, right?
Oh God, well, we
I
know
know
they ain't.
I gotta say it because Foster. I'm gonna give an example.
Get it off your chest, man.
Foster made a post in one of these Detroit groups on Facebook. One of these Detroit Lions groups saying, "Hey, we should get a corner in the near future." Not saying that our corners are trash right now. Not saying any of that. Just saying next year we should. I think your post said next year we need
Yeah,
to draft a corner.
early.
Am I
Yeah,
correct?
yeah,
And
early drafted. Yeah, for sure.
they wanted you to die. They wanted you to suffer. They wanted to just punish you for us, like for merely uttering a position of concern
How dare I say that?
for the future, not now, but
Right.
going forward. I mean, any team, and let's be realistic, any team where your second corner is an undrafted, you know what I'm saying, person. I mean, nothing against that, but most teams that have corners have drafted corners or got free agent corners from proven commodities or draft picks. You know what I'm saying? So l- I think the fans, we have a very fickle fan base. Yesterday, I saw and heard same old Lions. I heard and saw uh, uh, this team isn't ready to compete. This, that, and other. It's one game. You know what I'm saying? We win Monday night football and cures all for the moment. You know what I'm saying? And I just think the people are so used to having a downfall and that they're waiting for something bad to happen to say, you know what, I'm done. This team is back to the well, you know what I'm saying? But me and Foster has said on this show that Baltimore is a team to worry about because one, they had a mobile quarterback that we're not used to handling or don't think we're equipped to face. And they have a pretty good defense. And we saw that pretty much Sunday. We saw Lamar Jackson making plays with his arm and his feet early, his arm all game. Uh, you saw the defense not letting up. Now, once you get play from behind with Baltimore, when you get 3 touchdowns behind, they're pinning their ears back just like any good football team. They're waiting for you to pass. You can run it all day. Uh, but now they know what you're trying to do, and they just pin their ears back and they play pass defense. And when you have a good defense, you can be up 3 touchdowns and play like that. And that's what happens. So my rant is I want people to what I want people to get from my rant is take a breath, take a step back. If you're ready to jump off the bandwagon now, you were never on it in the first place. So just relax. We play Monday night football. If you see a couple of bad performances in a row where you get stomped like that, then I can understand your concern. But we were due for a punch in the mouth, and that's what we got.
Without a
So
doubt. Without a doubt.
nobody likes to see it. We don't agree with it. We don't want it, but it is what it is. You take it with a grain of salt. And, you know, I think the Lions uh learn from this loss. I think it's a reality check. And I think it's one that, you gotta have some film to look at. You
Right.
know, there's po you know, there's you lose 38-6, you're not gonna find many positives, but one thing, the tape doesn't lie. And
Right.
if you're not doing things correctly in that tape, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna good coaches, they're gonna see it. Like, look, and there was a press conference from Dan Campbell where he said, "Hey, hats off to them, but we helped we helped them win. Like, we didn't do ourselves a service. Uh, one-on-one matches, we didn't beat our man, pause. Yo, that was crazy. But the one-on-one matchups, you did not win. So you got to take advantage of those one-on-one matchups in the trenches and on the outside. You got to do that. And none of that happened. You look up uh Baltimore scores on their first possession. We get a 3 and out. They score on their second possession, 3 and out. Score on their third possession, 3 and out. That game was over early.
It felt like
Early.
I mean, you held out hope for it to get better, but Uh,
Well, I mean, scores 38-6. You only scored 6 points. That game was over after the first touchdown. It didn't look that way, but you know, as bad as the defense looked out there, we know they're not that bad. We know the defense can play better. We know the defense is better. It's just Sunday, man. It's one of those games where you go out there and you don't handle business, you can get embarrassed. It's an
plus,
embarrassing loss.
plus, we didn't have our
Go ahead, bro.
MVP. So,
And okay, for the people that's not paying attention, who is that MVP you're referring to, Foss?
come on, Jury Jacobs, man. That's the MVP right there. Oh, no, but honestly, in all seriousness, I think it did, especially with the fact that he practiced all week and we prepared for him to be in there. I think it did throw off our schemes a little bit.
Mhm.
You saw
Played a lot of
how
zone.
man that's once we looking and it's like this ain't man they playing off these dudes pretty heavily, and I feel like that's something because that has to go across the board. Whereas if you got Jacobs and Sutton on both sides, you're across the board, you can press, but Sutton can't press up and Harris is not. It forced
Right.
everybody into that scheme, and like I said, it wasn't something that they could prepare for during the week because Jacobs played the whole week. So I feel like we kind of got caught slipping with Jacobs not being able to play that game, and I in all seriousness, I don't think it completely changes the trajectory of the game, but it gives us a fighting chance at least if Jacobs is out there because he makes a lot of plays and he's always around that ball. So um that was one of the factors, but that it was inevitable. We knew Baltimore was going into Baltimore. That was going to be a tough game, and then of course the fact that he was the Jackson is a running quarterback, and that creates issues for for everybody, but us especially. It just feels like
Yeah, it's just a bad game. It's just a bad game. There's no sugarcoating it. If you lost faith watching that game, I kind of understand your plight, but at the same time, we know it was a bad game. We know this Detroit Lions team can play better, can be better. They just were flat versus a very good Baltimore Ravens team, and that's just
never
that. I
recovered.
mean,
Yeah,
never recovered, got behind early. You get behind early and against a good defense, it could bode pretty bad for you. You need to hang around a team like Baltimore and be in it because that defense was pretty fresh at the end of the first half. Like I think they got three and outs. Well, I know they got three and outs. And on the fourth possession, I think there was a couple of first downs, but after that, defense was off the field. So um, you got to wear that defense down. You got to wear that defense down. And to be honest, I think a game like that with all of the injuries, all of the injuries took its toll Sunday. You need all hands on deck for that team in Baltimore. The way you played, you need all hands on deck. So all is not lost though. We're going to we take this loss. Lions are 5-2, still first in the division. Um, Green Bay lost. Uh, Minnesota plays San Francisco tonight. Chicago won. Um, they beat the Raiders, and we play the Raiders Monday night. So
that makes me feel good.
I'm feeling
Ben,
okay.
the
I'm feeling
backup
okay.
quarterback out there.
They better have if they have a good week of practice, which I anticipate that they'll get back to work, they'll watch film, and they'll prepare for the Raiders. And I think uh you'll see a difference. We'll all see a difference on Monday night football. I will be there in person though, for real.
Oh
And I'll be
yeah,
yeah, my first Monday night football game. I'll be there.
that's
First
crazy.
one. Yeah, so Without further ado, Foster, I know it's gonna be a tough week and it's gonna sound negative, but what is your offensive grade this week?
Whew. Okay, offensive grade. I'ma just keep it 100. Offensive grade was a D plus. One touchdown. Obviously we went for two because we were down a whole bunch of points, so we didn't get it. So we got 6 points. It looks like two field goals as opposed to one touchdown. But overall, Golf was sacked 5 times. That can't happen.
Mm,
Golf looks very uncomfortable in that pocket. I feel like as it was collapsing around him, he was dropping the ball. He was stumbling and bumbling, and it kind of exposed him. It kind of
yeah,
exposed the weaknesses that he does possess. So I will say that the fact that the defense fell behind so bad. Granted, every time the defense gave up a touchdown, the offense had an opportunity to, you know, bring it back to them. So I can't completely put it on the defense, but I feel like we did have to abandon the run as we continue to fall behind because um when you get behind, run the clock is against is your worst enemy. So you do
yeah.
have in an offense that I feel like is very run is run first to set up the pass. We had to abandon that, and that's part of the reason why we didn't get as many points is because after a while we couldn't kick field goals. We couldn't. We had to go for two. It threw everything out of whack. But
Mhm.
Golf had an interception, and J-Mo had 0 catches for 0 yards. He dropped a couple questionable. One of them I saw was, the long pass that was he kind of had to catch at his ankles, but it's one of those balls that is like, hey, this is we brought you here to catch the ball, so you got to make things happen.
Yeah,
And
man, the ball hit him in the face one time, man. We gotta catch that. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
Yeah, and no, but it's getting to that point now. Hey, he's healthy. You got suspended earlier this year. You're back now. We need to see consistency. I put some of that on the coordinator as far as getting the ball in his hands by any means. We'll get to the coaches though, of course, but yeah, overall, Amon-Ra St. Brown was pretty much playing out there by himself. Laporta had a couple catches in garbage time when the game was out of reach. Gibbs got his first touchdown, happy for him
Mm.
in that regards. Gibbs actually had a decent game, but it was just too little too late. And yeah, the fact that we only scored one touchdown, 6 points, I got to give him a D plus.
I have to agree with your grade because honestly, I did not look at any statistics after watching the game. I just said D plus. And the reason why I say D plus because I saw St. Brown getting a bunch of catches. I like what I saw to Jameer Gibbs uh, late in the game. So I didn't want to give them a complete and total F, but or failing grade or you know. So I said in my mind I was going to give them a D plus or a D, something like that. But what's up, Gabe? Gabe says he doesn't look anything like the player he was at Bama, and I'm assuming he's talking about JMO.
JMO. Yeah, I think so.
Gotta be. So the offense, you get you got 6 points and you failed on the 2 point conversion. Um, I think at that point you just kick the extra. You
That's
just
the
kick
way
the
I
extra point.
but
I
that's
mean,
more just for looks at that point. It ain't got nothing to do with winning the
yeah,
game, obviously.
yeah. I mean, you down what 38 nothing and you're going for two. No.
Yuck.
Work on your
That's
fundamentals and kick the kick the field goal. Uh, I mean, kick the extra point, man. So I too gave the offense a D plus. Hold on for 1 second while we get to these ads and pay a couple bills. With that being said, Foster, how did you grade the defense?
I gave the defense a D minus. Out the gate, we had receivers wide open all over the field. We looked lost in the run pass option uh, on those plays. He was. It's not so much what we forget about running quarterbacks. It's not just about what they do once they're on the other side of the line of scrimmage, once they're running down the field. Being a running quarterback is about creating more time for yourself to make that pass as well. And the pass rush just was not getting to him. And even when we were remotely close to him, he was able to evade us in a way that it created enough time for us for him to find the wide open receivers, the wide open fullbacks, the gigantic Ricard or whatever his name is. The dude was like
Mhm.
280 pounds and he was just running for days on one of those passes. We just
There
looked
wasn't anybody in the frame with him.
Yeah, we just looked ill prepared. It looked like they knew what play was coming. Like because some of these plays is like, did they know what we were gonna? Because the plays were just so well countered to ours that it was like, are they in our pocket right now? Like it
I
was.
knew it. It's the Harbaugh thing. Somebody scouting. Somebody scouting him and his brother. They
That's the
watching the
way.
play.
That's the way it felt. I mean, we just didn't have a chance out there. And we talked about Jerry Jacobs a little earlier and how it could have possibly affected the defensive scheme. But I mean, I was looking at some of the stats, like Kirby Joseph had 9 tackles. Like that's not when your deep safety has the most tackles by far on the team, that's never
Man,
good.
that's not good. That's not
Um
good.
I think Derek
Not
Barnes only had 2 tackles. Um, Hutch had 2 tackles, 0 sacks. It just wasn't. It was definitely our worst defensive effort, and yeah, it just hurt me to see the amount of just gigantic plays because the passing is the Ravens' weakness. Like we said that
good.
if we can
Oh,
keep, if we can keep Jackson from running and make him pass, no, no, no. After a while, it was like, no, please stop passing. Beckham and Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews, the tight end, he went crazy on us. He looked like
gosh.
Tony, the second coming of Tony Gonzalez out there. So yeah, I gave him a D minus. We did cause one turnover. Otherwise, I would have said maybe an F, but we did cause one turnover.
I'm giving them an F. They have failed. And the reason being is 4 straight touchdowns in the first half. 4 possessions, 4 touchdowns. That's not going to cut it. And if your offense, the other team's not scoring, you if your offense isn't scoring and your defense allows that, you have failed them miserably. Um, you put the offense in a position where they have to pass, and you can prepare for that. You can play for the pass. Um, I saw receivers without defenders within 10 yards of them far too often. Far too often yesterday. Uh, no pass rush. I mean, he had one play on one touchdown play, he had 10 seconds to throw the ball. That's entirely too long to depend on a D-back to cover any wide receiver, and I don't care what. That's an eternity.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
They they tried to contain him in the pocket, and he just passed out of it.
Yeah.
It's like, no. I didn't see anything positive or anything nice. I can honestly say, uh, that the defense did yesterday to win to make it competitive. The plays that were made were outside the realm of being down 28 nothing. I mean, the game was put away after the first half. So, myself, I give them a failing grade, but for average sakes, because you chose a D minus and I chose an F, it'll weigh out to be a D minus.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
now this is another grade that we need to look at. How you grade the coaches?
Mm, I gotta say, I say D minus. Like, I'm not mad at anybody says that we failed completely. Can't Dan Campbell himself will say, I just didn't have the players ready to play today, and it and like he said, anything that could have went wrong did, and anything that could have went well for them did.
Well,
So
Foster, I'm gonna do you one better. For the listeners, this is what Coach Campbell had to say.
yeah,
but ultimately it was that we I didn't have them ready, and I've got to do a much better job of getting them prepared, which I will this week. We'll be ready for the Raiders, but we just certainly didn't play. They did everything right over there, and we did everything wrong. And
F, as far as
yeah.
you if you say that you didn't have them ready to play after seeing that, I
I'll take your
can't
word
do
for it.
anything but agree. I
Yeah.
can't do anything. The coaches got an F, and I'm
Yeah.
talking every coach except the special teams coach because they didn't. I mean, because he kicked off. The kickoffs look good. I mean, all five of them. It's 5 or 6 of them. He kicked the ball out there. Kickoffs look good, but other than that, I mean, he punted good as well. But
We did punt. We did punt.
the offensive coach, Ben Johnson, he gets an F. Aaron Glenn gets an F. So ultimately, Dan Campbell gets an F, and I'm sorry. That's just what it is. That's what it is. But we have to talk about something positive in the game. And at this point, we do have offensive and defensive MVPs that we're going to talk about. Um, how do you get an offensive MVP after a 38-6 loss? How do you get a defensive MVP after 38-6? Well, Foster's gonna give you his MVPs, man, because his cup is always half full. Uh, we are not gonna sugarcoat anything, but there are some people out there that actually played yesterday and played decent enough and they hustled enough to get these awards. So, Foster, who is your offensive MVP?
Offensive MVP. I changed my mind. I was gonna give it to Amon-Ra St. Brown. He did have a good game. He had 12 catches for 98 yards. A lot of dink and dunk. Nothing that really, you know, changed the world or
Mhm.
anything like that. I'm gonna give it to Jahmyr Gibbs. He was starting running back. He showed good balance between catching the ball out of the backfield and running. And he actually scored his first touchdown of his career yesterday, which was the lone touchdown of the game. And hopefully he can build off of that, and that will provide some momentum. Obviously, everybody was concerned about his usage alongside David Montgomery. There was no David Montgomery, so he had the full. He pretty much got the majority of the touches outside of Reynolds and I think Ibrahim before he got hurt. Another
Again.
another serious injury.
He got
But
carted off. That's prayers to him. I hope he's better. I
yeah,
hope
yeah,
it's
absolutely.
not anything serious because once that truck comes out to get you, it's serious. So, but he
Right.
held up a thumb on the way out. So
Two thumbs. I think he put both his arms up, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it was just one, but yeah. So hopefully we can some build on some momentum, and hopefully he's in good physical shape because we're gonna need him again on Monday night. He will probably be the primary RB1 for that game as well. So I'm gonna give it to him. First touchdown. Hopefully he got the ball and can build off of that confidence.
I said at the beginning of the show, before we started, I said, Foster, I don't have any MVPs for this game. And he said, I got you. So I don't have any input. Defensive MVP, who you got, Foster?
Defensive MVP, I gave it to Hutch. Hutch had an off game. Pretty much everybody had an off game, but he did recover a fumble pretty impressively. He kind of roped it in with his forearm, to grab it because he didn't. It was a ball that was kind of more in the area of the running back, but he was able to kind of scoop it up. And at that point, I don't know how many points we were down, but it could have provided some type of momentum or shift in the game. It did not, but we will give credit for the fumble recovery nonetheless. Other than that, there might not have been a defensive player of the game. There really shouldn't have been, to be honest. To be honest.
At this time, I reserve my comment. I do not have an defensive MVP in this debacle of a game.
That's a word. That's a word for it, for sure.
Hey, man, I read the dictionary a little bit today, man. So, Foster, I put you on the spot for the MVPs because I had no input towards it, but this is the time in the segment where Foster gets to talk about our featured player of the week. So I'll step to the side and Foster, tell us our featured player of the week.
Our feature player of this week is Josh Reynolds. He is a solid possession receiver who utilizes his size and his elite ball skills to create mismatches on jump balls. He's got some good size. He's 6'3", 198 pounds, and he's definitely a weapon in the red zone because he's able to go get some jump balls and, like I said, creates a lot of mismatches for those undersized corners. He's also underrated when it comes to stretching the field. He's actually averaging the most yards per catch that he has ever had in his career. He's third in the NFL with 18 yards per catch. And just to give you an idea of the disparity between him and the next highest amount between players, Khalif Raymond is second amongst on the team as far as receivers, and he averages 12 yards per catch. Obviously, Amon-Ra St. Brown, more of a short intermediate route guy, so he's only averaging 10 yards per catch, but obviously he has way more catches. But he's got a unique story. He actually went to the JUCO. He went to junior college his first year. He originally had a scholarship offer from Oregon State. They revoked his offer, and he ended up going to junior college. After 1 year at the junior college, he did get a scholarship at Texas A&M. He played at Texas A&M for 3 years. His first year, he actually broke the single season receiving touchdown record, which was held by Mike Evans. Obviously, we know who Mike Evans is, and
Yeah.
and he was very good at Texas A&M. But Josh Reynolds, his first year, did break that record. But yeah, he was ended up being drafted in the fourth round by the was that the St. Louis Rams then, or was it I don't know. He was drafted by the Rams, and he was
LA
obviously
Rams.
a L.A. Rams. Yeah, I don't know if he was when he got drafted. When they got drafted, maybe he was. I don't
They've
know how
been
long.
going to St. Louis for a long time.
For a while. Okay,
Yeah.
fine enough. So yeah, he was obviously a teammate of Jared Goff for a few years while he was with the Rams, and eventually they would obviously reunite in Detroit. He did have one stint in Tennessee with the Titans for a half a year before he was waived, and then halfway through the year he was signed by the Lions. He immediately became Jared Goff's favorite target. Our receiving core was a lot lighter then, but obviously them having that chemistry with from Los Angeles, it worked out well when he got to Detroit. After that year, he signed a 2-year deal with Detroit, so he's here right now. He's having one of his better years, and he, will never be a number one option, but in a pinch, he can play that role for short periods of time. He was the number one. He was the number one option in the game that Amon-Ra St. Brown was hurt, and he did a great job. And
Stepped up
he's
big
been
time.
definitely he's got 3 touchdowns this year, and like I said, he's third in the league, which I would not have necessarily expected, but he's third in the league as far as yards per reception with 18 and a half. There's only 2 people ahead of him as far as that's concerned. And going into this year, his role was kind of uncertain. We knew that we went out and got Marvin Jones. We knew that J-Mo was going to miss the first couple games of the year with a suspension, but he's turned out to be a constant outside of Amon-Ra St. Brown, and obviously we got Sam Laporta as well, but we didn't necessarily know that Sam Laporta was going to be as good as he was. So he's come in, he's been consistent, and like I said, he's off to the best start of his career, and he with J-Mo struggling as much as he has, and Marvin Jones struggling as much as he has, he's been an important and consistent member of our receiving core, and he will be a big part of how good our offense is ranked very high, and he's been a part of it, and he's going to be a big part of moving forward, continuing that trend.
Okay, well, there we have it. Josh Reynolds. Let's give Josh Reynolds a lion's roar. Oh, that sounds like a toilet flush.
It does today, doesn't it?
Yeah, especially with the way things went yesterday. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely flush that game down the toilet, because that is, yeah.
Woo. Let's take a break for ads real quick, Faust. So I guess we could move on from this and quit torturing ourselves talking about this last game. We seen it, we talked about it. It's over. We're 5-2, and we're heading back to Detroit. Monday Night Football. I can't imagine going into their 6-1 on Monday Night Football. I think it's still going to be electric, but imagine going in there at 6-1 instead of 5-2. That place is. I still think it's going to be rocking.
Oh yeah, it's Monday Night Football. This is prime time. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, and I'll be in the game. I'll be at the game. I'm
You're gonna
watching
be in the
live.
game.
No, they don't need.
Okay.
I'll be at Ford Field. Uh, I don't know. You may have to do an initial reaction, Faust.
Yeah. Obviously, yeah, that'd be tough for you to do.
Yeah. Yeah. So you might have to handle that. If not, I'll do it when I get home. But yeah, it's the Raiders. And I'm going to be honest and total transparent. I grew up a diehard Raiders fan. So I didn't start liking the Lions until I was older, but I was a diehard Raiders fan since I was a kid. So Monday night, Raiders, Lions. It couldn't be any better for me. Uh, it's birthday weekend, the wife's birthday weekend, and our anniversary all in the same week.
Mm,
It's going to be, and to top it off, I get to see Monday Night Football, my two favorite teams. I couldn't script it better.
yeah.
Uh,
A
the
Lions
the
win.
Raiders are playing horribly, so I'm definitely cheering for the Lions. I say the Raiders should tank, and just go ahead and tank. That team looks horrible. They lost to the Bears convincingly, and if we don't beat the Raiders as bad as the Bears have done, then I'm going to be really, really disappointed. And Foster, Wednesday we have this round table, right?
Right.
Will you be in attendance? Please say you're going to be there Wednesday.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I definitely gotta, I definitely gotta show face. You can't duck out on the lone, couple of losses that you have during the year. That just looks crazy.
I could see the smile on Pay's face. Pay is the Chicago uh, affiliate of FFSN that we do a show with on Wednesdays. We do a uh, North Division NFL North Division roundtable every Wednesday, and we drop that show on Spotify on Thursday morning. No, I drop it immediately. So uh, that show drops Wednesday evening. So you'll be able to listen to the roundtable. And while you don't see the actual footage, me and Foster has to look at Pay, smile, tell us, enjoy it while you can.
Enjoy it while you can. Classic quotes.
Now,
They all
now
they
this
all got
week,
classic quotes.
now this week, the Bears won and the Lions lost, and he already inboxed me like, ouch. Like he hasn't been ouching all year.
Yeah.
But it's okay. It's okay. Foster, I am ready for war on Wednesday. There's no more nice stuff. I want if there he can throw a pebble at me about this if he wants to. It's Pearl Harbor, baby.
I'm throwing a rocket.
It's gonna be Nagasaki, Hiroshima. Throw one pebble on me. I'm dumping. I'm unloading the whole clip. I'm letting off a drum Wednesday. He say something out of you can't say nothing to me. You 2-5. I'm I'm telling you, Foss, it's gonna get ugly if he better not say anything about terrible loss, exposed. Any of those words will trigger me.
Right.
I'm going off Wednesday. So y'all might want to tune in. Y'all might want to tune in. It's gonna be on Spotify Wednesday evening. Uh download Spotify, download the actual episode when you see it on Spotify. Just give us a download, man. Just check it out. We'll be on iHeartRadio, uh Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all that stuff, man. Check us out there. That's not a visual show what we're gonna have on Wednesday. It's something that's strictly on Spotify and those other streaming sites. And you can also check us out. Uh, for my listeners, tune in to YouTube on Motor City Metric. You'll get to see the faces behind the voices. Me and Foster. Uh, Motor City Metrics on YouTube, and you type in Bleachers to Speakers, or you'll see us in the lineup. Go to the live or hit video, and you'll see us in the algorithm. Just go ahead and check us out there. So, Foster, do you have any concerns going into this next game?
No major concerns, but I fully expect and want them to. I feel like they got a bomb on the Raiders. This cannot be a close game. Where this is a prime time game against a mediocre Raiders team. I'm not going to act like they're just. I mean, they're 3-4, second in the AFC West, and this is kind of. I feel like this is a breaking point to whether or not they are going to tank and call it quits. I mean, it's early for that, but I feel like they're at a point of uncertainty right now, and I feel like they really it would be a huge victory for them if they were able to make it happen. And I feel like, we're going into a home game after being away, what, the last 2 weeks?
Yeah.
The Bucks and the was that the last 2 weeks? The Bucks and then the
Mhm.
yeah, so we're coming back home after 2 weeks, and the crowd is gonna be electric, and they wanna see some fireworks. And the Raiders have the 31st ranked defense, which sounds like dead last if unless there's 32 teams. Like, and they
It's
got
not
it.
good if you're it's not good.
It's terrible, and Max Crosby, who's a, very, and he's from Michigan, I believe. Everybody's like, bring him
He
home.
played
Or I
at
think
Eastern.
he went to Central, or was it Eastern?
He went to
Yeah.
Eastern.
So, um, he's definitely gonna try to show out as well. But yeah, the defense we should be able to open up that playbook, have some fun. I need to see JMO. I need to see JMO active. I need to see Gibbs active. And we're 7.5 point favorites, and I really feel like we need to come in there and command this game from out the gate. And I'll tell you what, if we don't win this game, worry a little bit now. Worry a little bit. Will we still be up a couple games in the division, depending on how everything else shakes out? Yes, but two losses in a row, including a loss to the Raiders at home on Monday night, not gonna bode well.
Foster, I'm gonna say this, right? And I know I never wanna be the one to look at past games or team, games against other teams to predict what we should do, but in this case, I have to because our division has faced the Raiders, half the division. We're the 3rd team that's out of the division that's gonna face them this year. Um, Against Green Bay, they struggled to win versus them. We didn't have any problems with Green Bay.
Right.
They lost horribly to Chicago. Chicago Justin Fields didn't even play yesterday.
Right.
They had a rookie quarterback, undrafted rookie quarterback that started yesterday. Um, the Lions cannot afford to lose this game.
And they're 1-3 on the road on top of everything. The Raiders are.
This
So
is the
they're not even
game
a
you
good.
need to this is the game they need to be on all cylinders, score 40 points, allow 7 to say, "Hey, we
We
might have
back.
lost to a good team, but these scrubs can't mess with us."
Right. And this is the game
So
before the bye week too. So you want to go into the bye week with some momentum. You don't want to have to sit on a loss for the next week after that, because that is just going to be awful.
and
Oh
then
my
you
God.
have a chance, an extra week to get healthy.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Oh my God. We need that so bad. We
I
need that
I
so
I
bad.
expect Montgomery to be back after the
Yes.
Raiders game
Yes.
because it's like 2 weeks after that, so I expect him to be back by the end. Um, so yeah, take care of business versus the Raiders at home, Monday Night Football, prime time game. This is what we wanted as fans. There was been seasons without the Lions being on Monday Night Football. We here now. So take advantage and don't lay another egg because yesterday was omelet day. That was that was just not acceptable. It was not good. Uh not a loss that hurts your season, but it's a loss that hurts. So just to be honest, you know what I'm saying? Like nobody wants to see you don't want to see your team lose like that. And that was a bad loss. But we're not gonna harp on it too much longer, Foster. We're gonna go ahead and get out of here. Monday night football tonight. I am going to watch San Francisco versus Minnesota. I think it's going to be a good game. Uh, you gonna watch the game?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna check it out. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So make sure you check us out every Monday night, 7 o'clock, before Monday night footballs pops on, you can check us out, and we will have this show downloaded on the Spotify and all the streaming sites uh, the next morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. It'll be there. Check us out there. Give us a download, listen. Give us some feedback, man. If you ever want to watch the show, and we pin your comments to the screen uh, for anybody that asks a question or have anything to say. You know, we love the participation. We appreciate everybody that's listening. And we're gonna get out of here. I don't want to drag it on too long. Foster, you got anything you want to say before we get out of here?
We need this W right here.
I tell you what, we're gonna get this done.